Hey, Grace Point Church. I am currently driving from my house to the church, and I do not need a GPS to get there. Partially because I don't live that far away, and partially because I've been to the church so many times that I kind of know where to go. I know the roads. But that's not always true on a road trip. I don't know if you've ever taken a road trip. I know some of you are doing road trips this summer, and summer's a fun time to do a road trip. True story, one time in college, I was super bored with my roommate. It was like a Tuesday night or something, and it was super late. It was like midnight or 1 a.m., and we were just like, what should we do? And he turned to me, and he was like, Mike, you want to drive to Virginia? And we were in Wisconsin, and I was like, Virginia? Why would I go to Virginia? But I was open to the idea because I was really bored. And so he's like, well, the college that we went to, the basketball team was going to the national championships, and it was being played in Virginia that year. And so he's like, you want to drive down and we could watch them play? And they were really good. They were supposed to win the national championships, and they did. So he's like, this will be a good year to go. So we just, on a whim, we're like, sure, let's go. So we packed up a couple things in our bag, and we just left. And he was like, I'll drive. He had a Jeep. I'll drive, and you navigate. And I had to use this, what do they call that? Like an atlas or something. It was a book, and it had pages, and it had maps. And I used that, and I got us all the way from Wisconsin to Virginia. And we drove through the night, and we made it. On a road trip, you need a GPS. When you're going to the places that you already know, you don't need a GPS. But on a road trip, a GPS, an atlas, something like that's going to be helpful to help you know how to get there. I've learned something in life that if you want to figure out what to do spiritually, and you want to figure out how to live your life in a way that would be beneficial to others, if you want to understand culture, and you want to understand how to be relevant and how to get to where you want to go, what you need to read is the Bible. The Bible is what you need in the road trip of life. Now that was surprising to me, because I remember when I was in college, I thought the thing that I needed was the atlases of the world, and so I studied and I got all these degrees, and certainly it was helpful for me to study some of what the world offered, because it did help me to understand the world better. But I have found that more than anything else, studying the Bible helps me navigate my world better than anything else. And that's partially because the Bible is a story of people trying to navigate their world for thousands of years. I think I was surprised by it because the Bible was written thousands of years ago. And so it would be like, well, how would studying an ancient book about life help me in my life right now? Shouldn't I be looking at some different atlases? Shouldn't I be looking at a different GPS? We are finding in the book of 1 Corinthians that the town of Corinth was very similar to the town of Mundelein, and their struggles are very similar to our struggles. And so over these next few weeks, we are going to be doing quite a bit of cultural analysis. We're going to be talking about gender, not this week, but next week and for a couple weeks in a row. And gender remains, it was one of the very controversial subjects in the town of Corinth. How do I express my gender today is one of the more controversial topics of our day right now. And the same thing is going to be true on Sunday. On Sunday, Paul is going to talk about a thing that gets in the way of living for Jesus. And I have been struck by the fact that the same thing that they struggled with in 1 Corinthians 10:14 through 11:1 remains one of the biggest obstacles to living for Jesus, for being relevant, for getting to where we want to go. It remains today. So we're going to do some cultural analysis on Sunday. We are going to open up Scripture, and it is going to illuminate the things in our world that hold us back from living for Jesus, for accomplishing the purposes that he has for us. So I really want to encourage you over these next few weeks, keep studying the Bible. That's what you need more than anything else. Prepare for the Bible to illuminate the world in a way maybe you haven't seen before, and it will show us the way forward. So I'm really looking forward to Sunday, as you can tell, and really looking forward to what God will do with us as we continue to study his word, which is the GPS of our lives.